names are Augustine Itambo Muchiri, born in Nairobi, went to school in Nairobi from study 1 to study 5, transferred to Nyeri, then from Nyeri back to Rift Valley, where I'm currently on as a grown-up. In Nairobi, did some business here and there, and decided to come and do some side hustle at my place that is in Nyahururu. When I was growing up here in Rift Valley, after relocating from Nyeri, I never thought that I'll do farming like the one I'm doing right now, because it was like tradition here. People only plant maize and beans, so we never thought that you can do something else, because we found our mothers and our grandmothers, people we found here were just doing maize, because maize do well here. So after harvesting the maize, the shamba is just idle for another like 4 to 5, 6 months without planting anything else. So when I came here, I thought of the time that the shamba is staying idle. I decided maybe if I do some little sukuma wikis for domestic use, it will be better. When I started the sukuma wiki, it did well, because I thought I'm planting sukuma wikis for my family, only to realize that even the locals wanted the sukuma wikis. So I started selling the little I had to locals. That's when I was encouraged to do more sukuma wikis. I've done sukuma wikis in plenty. Prefer French beans, because the French beans, the only problem we have in French beans is the white flies, which you can control easily, and the rust. The rust is something like this, so, and you can do control of rust through simple pesticides without using strong ones. And one thing advantage about French beans is that when you're planting, you know who to buy your French beans. French beans are better because once you get the seedlings from the company, you come and plow and plant. They'll be coming and advising you what to use, the pesticide to use, and the time the French beans will be ready, it will be their task to come and tell you, now you have to harvest the French beans, to pick them and drop them to their drop-in stations. I do harvest water from the rain. There is a tunnel dug from that point to that area, doing that harvesting of water during rainy season. Then we use the same water to water the crop. So the biggest challenge here is water. You don't have plenty and adequate water to do the irrigation. So when the water pan dries up, you turn to the boreholes, which also can dry in any season, because when we go to January, it's a dry season. So you'll have to go dry from January, February and March. March we only have short rains. The only time we have plenty of rain is on April. And on April you can't plant French beans on that time, because there are so much crops around, and as you're having so much crops around, that's when you have so much pests that are roaming around. So it is preferably you do your planting when you don't have crops around your neighbors, so that you can control the pests that are just within your shamba. Laborers, we get them from the locals, from around the village. That's why you get laborers to come and do the job with the planting, but the seeds we get from the company. because you can't just plant seeds the ones you want, and the seeds must be certified seeds. So we prefer, the company prefers you get the seeds from them, so that whatever you're planting and whatever you'll be harvesting, they know the source of the seeds. So the seeds comes from the company, we don't buy them from the shops. Through farming, I've managed to build myself a house which is coming up. As you can see, it is still coming up, and I think by another 1 to 4 years to come, it will be a big project, because I'm planning to do the piping of water, so that instead of giving the French beans with water with hose pipes, then I call the fundi who will do the drip line, and it will be easier for me to do the farming, because I'll be saving time and money. This project of French beans, I never thought that I'll be at this point, so that's why I'm optimistic that in another 1 year, God willing, I want to look for a company so that I can do a borehole. Though it's a bit expensive, it's 1.2 million, but I have to do the borehole digging, because that's the only way that I can be sure of sustainable water, because the water pan can dry, but water from the borehole is at least promising. So I'm thinking of doing borehole. After doing borehole, by the end of this year, I can look forward for farming in large scales. Like for now, I'm just doing 1 acre, but I'm just limited to 1 acre because of the supply of water. But if I get the borehole by the end of this year, I'm very sure I'll be doing like 3 acres of French beans. And